Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we are hopefully going to be replacing the idler pulley on the drive belt of the Wheelhorse Raider 9. So we've got a replacement for that here, and we've also got some tight bends so that hopefully we can neaten up our quick fix of the fuel system. So we're going to start with the idler pulley today, and this is the replacement one here, and we're really not impressed by the quality of pretty much any replacement idler pulleys nowadays. I mean, it spins all right, but there's a little bit of movement in the bearing, which there you go, you can probably hear there, which you don't really expect from new parts, or you'd hope new parts wouldn't have, but that it is what it is, unfortunately. However, that should still hopefully be an improvement on what's currently on the tractor, which I think is the original idler pulley from 1968 still, which from when I was driving this tractor at the Bloxham Steam Country Fair, which show we went to recently with this tractor and a couple of our other ones, which if you haven't watched that video already, be sure to check that one out. But I thought that this was making an utter racket, really, from that idler pulley. So I'm expecting when we pull all of these guards and everything off for there to be loads of movement in that pulley, but we will see. Now, the idler is just under here, so to get to it, we're at least going to have to prop up the fender, if not take it off, but we'll probably just try to prop it up for the time being. Footrest's got to come off, so is the belt guard. I think we're going to try and leave this rear wheel on if we can, but at the same time we might take it off just for better access. We'll have to see when we start taking stuff off how hard everything is to get to or take off. Just prop the fender up and you can actually see the difference between the clean paint and then all the dust that was underneath the fender from Bloxham. There you are, that shows how mucky that is. So clearly that needs bit of a clean up before the next show, although our next show is rural pastimes where we'll be in the working area for probably most of the time, so these tractors are going to get absolutely covered in muck again, but that's all part of the fun. Anyway, next thing to come off is the footrest. Dad seems to love this. It's my first time using it, so I've never actually tried this tool before. Speeds up the process a little. Yeah, it's just these two bolts up here, two captive bolts there, and then there's a bolt there which has like a loop on it that goes around this bar. Which I believe that just needs that nut loosening off a little bit. Be enough. Quite the smartest idea. all the fixings together, and hopefully this should slide off of here, hopefully without taking off too much paint. There we are. It's the first time since the rebuild that this foot plate's been off. Next thing to come off is the belt guard here, which is one fixing up here on the engine, which is also the engine earth, and then this bolt here by the looks of it. Got those two fixings off now, and if I just pull this off of here, give me a second, I should place this down somewhere. So this is the old idler, obviously covered in belt dust, and you can see that's got quite a bit of wiggle on there, and that's with the tension of the belt still on it. So clearly that is pretty worn, and if I just quickly go around and put the clutch lock on, you might be able to hear what it sounds like when it's spinning. Yeah, it sounds a bit rough. So hopefully we can kind of remove some of that with our new idler. Probably ought to just quickly compare it and make sure it's the same size, which it is by the looks of it, so that's good. So now we just need to unbolt this one and get swapping. So we've taken off the nut off of the back now, and the impact was required for that. So we've just got to wind this out now, I think. There we are. That's the bolt and idler off. Take that out. When you look at it there isn't actually that much movement in that bearing. So we'll have to see how much the movement in the new idler affects things. Also, something to consider is that bearing is quite central on the pulley. It may also cause issues because this new one is not at all, really. However, I don't know. So I'm just comparing how much that sticks out compared to here, and then the same on this new one. Should work, hopefully. Just means that this needs to be mounted this way around. Just make sure this bolt is tight on there. Which that is tight in there, that's good.
We probably need to have a bit of a clean up first, don't we?
Yes, get rid of probably best part of 60 years worth of belt dust. So we'll have a clean up and we'll get back to you. So we've had a bit of a clean up of this whole area now, and time to fit the new idler, which is probably easier just to put that on now to start with. Looks like it started fine. That's just the brake lock come off. Nothing to worry about there. And still spins fine, that's good. Probably need the brake lock put back on. Give us just a second.
That brake lock is not very reliable, is it? We need to have a look at that at some point. Maybe when we do the gearbox.
Yes, which is an upcoming job. That's just come off again. So, what I'm trying to do is tighten it up and then see if it'll still spin, but probably need Dad to go hold the clutch while I do that. So we'll probably cut here and come back to you in a second once we've just made sure that that's tight enough. So we have the idler fully tightened up now, and we're not particularly impressed by this idler, if I hold the belt away from it, you can see here it's still quite loud, still got a bit of wiggle to it as well. So I'm not sure how much of an upgrade that really was from the old one. We'll have to see. We're definitely going to keep this, and we'll look to see if we can find something better as well. In the meantime, we'll just have to see how that goes. We did actually use this attachment that we've got for our grease gun, which is like a little needle bit on the end, and then just poke that kind of underneath that seal and completely packed that with grease. So, you know, it's as quiet as it can be. We'll just have to see what it's like when we're using it again, which when we take this tractor to rural pastimes, that'll be a good test of that. And if we're not impressed by it, as I say, we will just swap the idler again, either back to the original if we think that that new one is worse, or try and find an actual decent replacement one. But for now, that's how we're going to leave it. Now we need to put those body panels back on here, and we can move over to the fuel system stuff, which seems you saw us take all of this stuff off. We'll just put it all back on off camera and jump straight over to the fuel system. So with those body panels back on now, we can focus on our fuel system all around our vacuum fuel pump, which we put on in a hurry for the last show that we took this tractor to. And as you can see, the routing of all these pipes isn't really great, especially this vacuum pipe. The bend on that is way tighter than we would want it to be. So we bought a few of these 90-degree joints for the fuel line, and what we're going to do now is just have a bit of a play about, see where we can introduce some of these to just make this all sit a bit better. And we're not fully sure how this is going to go yet, so we're going to do this off camera probably. It's going to be a lot of trial and error and just seeing what works, what doesn't. But we will come back to you once we've kind of got an arrangement sorted, and then you can let us know in the comment section down below what you think of it. So we're back now, good few hours later, and we dislike this tractor greatly now. So I'll kind of explain why. And for a bit of context, we use 6mm fuel pipe on all of our tractors because we can't get 1/4 inch fuel pipe in this country, and that is the closest size to it in the metric system. And so when we ordered our 90-degree barbs, we ordered 6mm ones because, well, that's what goes with the fuel pipe, or so we thought, but these were made in China. Apparently their rulers are different over there, because when I put this in the fuel pipe, you can see that just pretty much just falls out. So we couldn't use these, they're too small. We did manage to find a random 90-degree barb, plastic one in our storeroom, but we only found one of those. And we also found, when we were kind of trying different arrangements with the fuel pump, that putting the 90-degree bend on there actually caused the whole thing to kind of flex and move about and wobble a lot more, which we didn't really want. So what we've ended up doing, instead of having a 90-degree bend, is put like long sweeping curves on all of the fuel pipes here, which has meant that we've ended up putting the pump in this orientation. And to hold it still, we made up this bracket here, which goes off of one of the mounting points for the engine cowling. It's got a bit of a twist in it there, and then just 2 bolts onto that. Overall doesn't look too bad, but unfortunately, because it sticks out so much, it's kind of made it a bit of a feature, which, yeah, it's not really what we wanted. Before, it kind of blended in with the rest of the engine. Now it sticks out like a sore thumb. But yeah, that's unfortunate, but I think for the shows that'll have to do. And until we can get either a replacement mechanical fuel pump or a proper rebuild kit for our one, which is broken, this is how it's going to have to be. However, the second we get back from our shows, we're going to be looking for those parts to put it back to standard, because it does look much better that way. Now, if I just quickly drop the bonnet so you can see what it looks like with at least part of the eyesore covered up. There we are. Kind of hides a couple of the pipes. They go into the bonnet. They don't touch anything. Don't worry, we've already checked that a million times. But yeah, this is kind of the side view. Which, I mean, that'll have to do for this final show that we've booked into so far. And then, as I say, after the shows, we'll get on to fixing that. And that actually rounds off our jobs for the Raider 9 before its next show, besides cleaning it. Although I'm not sure there's too much point cleaning it too much, considering the amount of dust we're going to pick up at rural pastimes, but we'll give it a quick wipe over before it goes. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.